Okay, well, good afternoon to those who are joining us. Welcome to this afternoon's webinar. We'll wait for everyone to get on board. We start normally about 2 minutes past 2, so we'll just wait for people to join us. So yeah, for those joining us, welcome. We can start at a couple of minutes past. Okay, I can see quite a few people joining us, so that's great. Welcome. Good afternoon. Nice to see you all. Just waiting for a few people to join. It's 2 o'clock, 2:01. We're going to start at 2 minutes past the hour, so we'll get cracking at about 2 minutes past the hour. Thank you. A few more people still joining, so welcome to you. Good afternoon. Nice to see you all. Just waiting for a few more people to join, and then we'll get cracking at 2 minutes past to give everyone a chance to log on and get their IT set up. So yeah, we'll be starting at 2 minutes past. Okay, just last few people joining, and we're nearly at time. Okay, so it's 2 minutes past, so I think we'll start. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this afternoon's webinar. Thank you for joining us. We do hope you're well and that your families are safe and well. This is now the 9th webinar in the Nevilles series of webinars, and today we're going to give you a Nevilles business update, what we're doing, how we're managing the current market situation, and how we plan to support you. You will hear today from myself and Niall McCambridge, our head of sales. The session should last around 20 to 25 minutes, and there will be some time for questions at the end. Ian Whitsey, our product manager, will be running the presentation and monitoring questions and comments throughout. We also have a number of Nevilles team members on the webinar today. You are all as standard in mute mode with cameras off. You will see on every page, including this page, a QR code, which we ask you use. Open the camera on your smartphone, and this takes you into a very short feedback questionnaire, which will be really useful for us. There is also a link to this when you leave the webinar. It's really important for us to get this feedback so that we can keep listening and improving the webinars as we move through. We do hope you find this useful. If you do have technology issues, I hope we don't as well, but if you do, there'll be a recording available to all participants. Okay, next slide, please, Ian. Okay, so status update. How are Nevilles doing? Okay, business update. Nevilles are in a good, strong position. We've retained the business controls that we had in place during 2020 and are managing this latest lockdown well. Stock levels remain under control and availability is rising as we move through into Q2, when we know we will need to have good availability of stock as the lockdown ends. And it will end, I promise you. We're expecting to see 97% availability by the end of next month, which is a really positive thing. Service proposition. Our service proposition has remained constant throughout this latest lockdown period. We have offered a 5 p.m. cutoff for same-day dispatch because we believe that this was something that our customers relied on, and whatever opportunities our distributors have, we want to help them capture them. Our service proposition for Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, and Europe has been affected. Our customers have seen delays, and the carrier network has to get used to new ways of working and increased administration. And this will still take some time to settle down. So we do thank you for bearing with us. Customer listening. Firstly, thank you for keeping in touch with us during this latest lockdown. It really does help us to understand more about what is happening in the market, and so that we can adapt our business to serve you better. We do really like hearing from you, how you are doing and your plans for when your customers restart their operations. And I'll talk a bit more about this later in the webinar. Our people. Our teams have been fantastic through this process and continue to be so. The safety and well-being of our teams is our number one priority. In our latest staff survey at the end of 2020, 97% of our team members felt that their workplace is a safe and comfortable space, and we continue to strive to make sure we are following the Leighton's guidance. Our latest staff survey also showed that 95% of our team rated Nevilles as an excellent, very good, or good place to work, which we're especially proud of given the challenges that we're all experiencing. All of our teams are using this opportunity to prepare for the restart of hospitality so that we are in a great place to be able to serve you and what you need. I'm now going to hand over to Niall to talk more about the plans for 2021. Over to you, Niall. Next slide, please, Ian.
Thank you, Andrew, and good afternoon, everybody. So yes, the plans for 2021. New product development continues to be a key focus for Nevilles, and 2021 is no exception. We've already had our first launch this year, which saw around 80 products being launched across a number of product categories. During 2021, we have a further 3 launches where we will be launching some very exciting new products across many of our product categories, including terra porcelain and table presentation. We will also be launching products within new areas or product areas of HoReCa, which we believe will strengthen our overall product offer. Web and e-brochure development. For many years, the Nevilles website has been an invaluable resource for our customers for lots and lots of reasons. We want to ensure that customers can self-serve where possible and ensure the experience is excellent. We have and are developing a better logged out experience. An example of that is the stock availability is now live when logged out. And our web development plans continue to target functionality and enhancements. And with our customers' feedback, this enables us to improve the overall user engagement and experience. The e-brochure. Having now launched our first ever Genware e-brochure, and with over 120 of our customers taking a bespoke version of the e-brochure, feedback so far has been very good, which is pleasing. As we've mentioned in previous webinars, we will be adding a further 3 updated versions of the e-brochure, which aligns with our NPD launches in April, July, and October. We now also see the need to split currency for split currency brochures. So from April, we will be bringing a sterling and euro version, which will include all of the April NPD products. And as we learn how our customers and ultimately the end user is using the brochure, we plan to bring upgrades to the already great functionality during this year. Showrooms. As you're all aware, we have 3 showrooms based in London, Manchester, and our head office. Our showrooms' main purpose really is to support our customers, whether that's for sales meetings, business meetings, hosting one of your customers, or using it for your own internal sales meetings. And at present, and in line with the guidelines, we have all of our showrooms closed. However, we are ready for the reopening of our industry and will be available to support you whenever that is. In the meantime, you can go on a virtual tour of either the Manchester or London showrooms. You can find that on our website. There's a link under showrooms. Customer interaction. More important than ever, as the way we interact with our customers is limited. We're very keen to interact however you, our customers, feel the most comfortable with. Please do feel free to contact any of the sales team in whatever manner of contact you wish, and we will absolutely adapt and be ready and waiting for you. And moving forward into 2021, we do see a more blended way of interacting, with video being probably the main one for several months, or certainly a number of months yet, and then a mix of video and in-person meetings from Q2 onwards. Live chat has become a really important interaction tool in the past 12 months. And we've developed this to include the ability to now interact with us via WhatsApp. So again, a function we're very, very comfortable with using on our phones, and you can now use that function to interact, ask questions, seek advice, and whatever through the WhatsApp and live chat. And then lastly, the webinar series, as Andrew mentioned at the start, this is our 9th in the series, which I think you look back, we did our first one back in May last year, and believed at that time it was an important way of communicating to our customers, especially as we weren't able to visit. The webinars have developed and are now part of our overall communication strategy, and we will keep these running throughout 2021 and onwards. So that's it from me. Over to Andrew.
Great, thank you, Niall. Thank you for that. No, lots of positive things there. Okay, so looking then onto the business challenges and changes that we're seeing. Okay, shipping prices. We've seen pricing of container shipments from China to the UK increase dramatically towards the end of last year and into this year. The levels have been expecting to level off and reduce, but we're still seeing continued high pricing of containers. And we have been talking something up to 5 times the normal cost. So Nevilles has to this point been absorbing all of these costs and these increases, and we said we would, and we said we'd absorb these for the first quarter of 2021. Administrative charges. For shipping into Northern Ireland, the Republic Island, and the rest of Europe, there is additional customs work to do, and carriers are imposing additional charges to Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, and all other parts of the EU to allow our goods to move into these markets. Again, Nevilles have been absorbing these charges and have moved some routes to more expensive carriers to make sure that goods are dispatched and get into their destinations. Factory gate pricing. We have seen supplier increases on products with raw material price increases, weakening local currency levels, meaning that our purchase price levels are increasing. Again, we've absorbed price increases to this point, and we said we would for quarter 1 of 2021. So we've kept those flat for the first quarter this year. Secondary duties on products. So now that the UK has left the single market, for products that enter the UK and then are re-exported, many of these products will incur an additional duty payment. This has always been the case for exports outside of Europe, and now is the case for exports into the EU. So these are additional costs, and at this point, Nevilles have been absorbing these. Okay, so next slide, please, Ian. Okay, so what are we actually doing about this? Okay, firstly, bonded warehouse to reduce the impact. Nevilles are investing in a bonded warehouse, which we will be able to reduce some of the additional duty impact for goods going into the EU. Not all of it, but it will be some of it. This will be in place next quarter. However, the impact of this will only be felt into 2022. So that takes some time for that impact to come into place. We are reviewing and clarifying the pricing changes that we've been seeing to ratify what actually are the new costs so that we can make sensible and fair pricing decisions. We will be issuing new pricing to be effective from the 1st of April 2021. We expect to inform customers of this on Monday, the 8th of March. This will be outlined clearly as to what we will be doing. Suffice it to say that we will not pass on all of the additional costs that we're seeing, and that we believe that these pricing changes will be fair given the market situation that we are seeing and facing, and the service levels that we wish to offer and that you would expect. We always review our pricing to make sure that we are taking account of market forces and keeping our customers up to date with what is happening in our supply chain and in the market as a whole. Okay, so then over to Niall. We'll talk now more about how we can support you through these challenges. Over to Niall.
Thanks, Andrew. Okay, so how can we support you as a business and a team? As I mentioned earlier under the brochure in this webinar, we do appreciate that this may be the first e-brochure that you've used. It certainly is for me. We are here to help with all aspects of how you can get the best out of it. And our sales and marketing teams really are here to support any questions or support you need to make you comfortable in using it and getting the best out of it. We've had several customers feeding back that they have converted a number of the product inquiry forms that customers have completed and has generated some orders already, which again is very positive. And certainly that functionality we believe will be very, very important moving forward. Direct deliveries, these continue to be a valuable part of the Nevilles service proposition, and one that we believe will be as valuable once the industry starts to come out of hibernation and into the reopening phase. As a cost benefit and speed to customer, it certainly does make sense to use this service like so many of our customers already do, and is totally scalable as well. Sales teams are working. Yes, we are. Throughout all of the lockdowns, we have had our sales teams working. We've ensured that our senior sales team have been in hand to support our customers during every day throughout all of the lockdowns. And that's been backed up by the regional sales team and our sales support. Our teams are very comfortable supporting our customers remotely and are on hand to assist in generating opportunities, as well as working commercially with you to win business. Business ready. Our belief is that once our industry starts to prepare to open and into the reopening period, Nevilles will be in fantastic shape to support you, our customers. Stock levels are good and getting much better. And as mentioned, our sales teams are and have been working, being forced to adapt to work remotely and virtually, and very much comfortable in person and looking forward to getting back into that in-person meeting. Our showrooms will be reopened as soon as government guidelines allow, and we are really excited for our industry to coming out of lockdown once the restrictions are lifted. And samples, as you're all aware, we give out free charge samples as part of the Nevilles support package to our customers. We've not turned off the samples process during the last 12 months, and we will continue to provide these to you and your customers as and when a GenWare sample is needed. The importance of a sample to the end customer to allow them to be able to touch it, feel it, to put their foot on it before they invest money is probably more important now than ever. So, that sample, the proposal is definitely very much there, and please feel free to request samples when you need them. Presentation support. This is becoming a more and more important part of support to our customers. During the last 12 months, Nevilles has invested in bringing in a graphic designer who is helping us to develop and deliver some fantastic customer-specific mood board style presentations. These can be menu or dish specific, or a broader presentation to match in with an interior look or feel of a venue. We're very comfortable delivering these to your customers on your behalf or alongside you. And we've already seen several orders being placed on the back of these presentations. I'm going to ask Ian now to go to the next slide where I will share. So these are the idea of some of the mood board presentation style documents that we're putting together, and something we can do for you. You can see that we can do it on a material. We can do it depending on a type of offer that you're trying to get, like a buffet or display, table service cutlery, you can see, and use of cast iron or other dishes. So that's one way we can do them. We've also seen where we've had the sort of brief from the design, interior design, and we've then reworked and worked these mood board presentations to really give the best presentation of our products. And it really is a very valuable support mechanism that we can do for you. So that's it from me. Over to Andrew.
Great. Thank you, Niall. That really, really positive. So I think the final sort of main slide is really what we think, what we look at as the outlook for the rest of this year and beyond. So, the vaccination program, I think, the UK is in a good position. The vaccination program is well underway, as we all know, which is frankly our ticket out of this pandemic. And particularly, I think the hospitality sector, which relies on the relaxing of the social distancing to be truly effective. And that is really our long-term solution. So seeing the UK being very positive and being ahead on this program is, I think, should be, we should all take great comfort in that. So that's the first thing, money to spend. If you listen to economists who talk about the UK specifically, they will say that the majority of the adult population have an excess of disposable income, having not been able to spend on holidays and social activity during the past 12 months. So when the lockdown ends, they are looking to spend. And this is going to be incredibly important for this sector. So I think that's important to say that there is no shortage of disposable income, and we want people to spend it within this hospitality sector. So I think that's important. Another important point on this from an economy point of view is that the government will certainly want to make sure that this year the UK economy outperforms the EU economy. There's no hiding that. I think that's exactly what the UK government wants and really needs. So they will make sure that the UK is on track to do this. And the hospitality sector is actually incredibly important for this. And so, Niall, do you want to talk a bit more about what we're seeing and what we think we'll see?
Yeah, I think certainly one aspect of that is staycations, Andrew. Certainly, it's very well been very well documented by the British government and countries and governments outside of the UK that the advice is that leaving the country this year for a holiday is certainly not something that they're encouraging. So with that in mind, we are seeing a lot of focus and a lot of staycation type holidays. So we've a number of customers, distributors that deal with a lot of the holiday parks and the centre park style venues around the UK and Ireland. And feedback from them is that the bookings, they've seen an influx of bookings for staycation holidays, and I think this will have a very positive knock-on effect to the wider hospitality sectors in the UK, Ireland, and further afield. So that's a really positive thing, and the money staying within our countries. You look at the projects late in 2020 and continuing into this year, we've seen a steady increase in the number of projects that our distributors have asked us to work alongside them with. That's very encouraging. This is coming from multiple sectors, and I think industry's really getting into is looking to get themselves into great shape for the return of their customers. It seems like they have and are spending the time during the lockdown period seeing how they can invest to deliver a fantastic experience to their customers in the hospitality sector. So, very encouraging, I think, indeed.
Good stuff. Thank you for that. Okay, next slide, please, Ian. Which is the final slide. So thank you very much for listening. Now there is, please use the Q&A button for putting your questions in. It is the Q&A button, isn't it, Ian? That's right, rather than the chat.
Yep, if you direct any questions that you have into the Q&A box.
Perfect, that's great. Before we take those, I'm just going to highlight something for you, which is firstly is the QR code. Please give your feedback on this. Thank you for those. Some people have already responded on that, which is great. So I've seen those ping through, so that's great feedback. The other one that I want to highlight is the next webinar, which will be our product update on the 18th of March. So that's going to be new products. That's going to be the April launch. So Ian will take you through the April launch, which is going to be very exciting as well to go through. So that's on the 18th of March. So same time, Thursday, 2 o'clock. Is when we're going to be doing that. So, okay, we're going to get some questions through. We actually got, which is fantastic, we've got some questions sent through pre-webinar, which is amazing. Fantastic preparation from our customer in the southwest. So that's fantastic. I'll take one of the question, which was lead time on products now based on the challenges of COVID and Brexit, which are, we found that actually lead times actually from suppliers are actually are constant and are pretty good. We saw, as you know, but at the end of last year, some real challenges from the point of view shipping and delays. And whilst those are still the case, we're certainly seeing those improving. as we get into a more normal shipping situation. It's still certainly not normal, and there certainly still are delays, but we sort of see that over the next sort of 2 quarters actually improving. So no, thanks for that question, and yeah, it's a very important one that we've all had challenges with. Okay, and there was also, with that person who had some questions about some product development issues, sorry, product development opportunities and suggestions. So Ian, you were going to take those, and I forgot to mention to you actually, Ian, about the opportunity for customers to put their new product suggestions onto our website.
Yes, for those who may not have seen in our last webinar, we demonstrated that now on our front page of our website, towards the base of the website, there is a link for product suggestions, should you wish to share any of these. But yeah, certainly some questions that we've had in prior to this webinar in relation to Terra porcelain. Will you be producing the coffee cups in an 8-ounce and 12-ounce size, and also any oval plates within Terra porcelain? The answer is we will certainly consider it. Terra porcelain has been a huge success for us so far. It's still performing very well, even now, even in the current situation that we will find ourselves in. So it's certainly something we can consider within our next NPD meeting. Another question that we had from the same customer was, will you be increasing the kitchenware and utensil range and price to be in line with other companies like RB and Nisbets? The answer to that is we've certainly recognised over the last year, whilst front of house has kind of suffered a little bit, there's certainly still plenty of opportunities from back of house where restaurants have adapted to the takeaway market and still require back of house items. So I'm pleased to say that in July we are adding in about, I think it's around 40 to 50 new back of house lines across various categories. And even in our October launch, we're adding in back of house lines. So back of house still remains very important for us in our NPD development. Last from the same customer was, have you thought about chefs or waiters starting kits for colleges? Certainly something we can look into. We obviously we supply a lot of colleges on an individual product basis, but if you feel like there's a potential kit, very standard kit that we can put together and start selling, it's certainly something we can consider. And then we've had some more questions in from today's webinar. Do you have an idea on average price increase in April?
I'll pick this up. Yeah, I would expect everyone to be thinking that, given what we've been talking about. It's very difficult for us to say at this stage, and I don't want to put a figure on that at the moment. And that's not trying to be evasive. I think there are so many factors involved in this, and that we're discussing this as a senior team and with our supplier base and with our customers, that we want to make sure it's the right figure, it's the fair figure. So we will commit to that. We said we will talk to customers on I think it's the 10th of March. We will give people a figure on that one, and we're going to give people again that notice. We don't want that the prices will be valid, so it will come into effect on the 1st of April. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'd love to have a figure on that. I don't have that at the moment, but we just really do need to properly work through all of those numbers and all of those things.
Another question for myself: will you be increasing your bakeware and pastry range? This could be good as we purchase from Matfer and Paderno. It's certainly something that we see as an opportunity. With Brexit, obviously sourcing some of this European stuff could prove to be a little bit difficult. So it's certainly an area that we're looking to explore.
I think on that one, if there is any suggestions that you'd like us, that's a really good suggestion to actually put those forward on the website, isn't it, Ian?
Yes, absolutely. Please utilize the website and share specific products that you're referring to. That would be great. And lastly, we have any further insight on range extension into new categories. I don't like to give too much away now. You will have to tune in for the next webinar to see our April launch. But certainly we've got a new area for us being launched in April, and an even more exciting new area that we're launching later in October as well. So you'll have to tune in for the next webinar on the 18th to find out more.
Very good. Thank you very much, Ian. Okay, so I think that looks like that is it. So again, my thanks to everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you have a good rest of the day. I think, yeah, just stay safe, and we look forward to catching up and seeing you soon. Please also do use the QR code. Please do equip the questionnaire. It's really helpful for us to get the feedback as well. So thanks very much, and good afternoon from us. Cheers.